Hey everybody, welcome back to the wood shop.
Did you know in 2018 the woodworking industry was worth more than $250 billion with a B?
Well, today we're going to show you how to get your piece of the pie by turning your hobby into a business.
We're going to show you some projects, some beginner woodworking projects that you can sell, how to add value to your work, and where you can sell your projects. Stay tuned.
This video is brought to you by WoodSongsByRussell.com, home of woodworking tutorials and handmade gifts created in the heart of Eastern Kentucky. For a limited time, join our mailing list for a special discount off your first purchase. That's WoodSongsByRussell.com.
All right, the first project we're going to talk to you about is this little wooden napkin holder. Well, do I have to say wooden? They're all made out of wood, but this is a wooden napkin holder. Anyway, this is great for a beginner. It's really simple, easy to make. It's made out of the project panel boards that you can get there at your store, the craft board section, you know, the 3/4 inch pine and stuff. I mean, you cut it into 3 little pieces, make 2 rabbet joints, glue it together. Now we put a round over edge on this, which is not necessary. You don't have to do that. It looks good if you can do it, but you don't have to. And you can put some feet on the bottom of it too if you want. And we put a little, I believe, spray lacquer finish over this, and that's about it.
Very simple to make, like you said, great for a beginner. And on Etsy, these little lunch napkin holders, they're running anywhere between $20 to $30 each. So there's real potential here for a nice starter project to make some money. And it just depends on the type of wood you use, how much you want to customize it or personalize it for somebody. But really, for the time that it takes to make that project, you can make some serious cash.
Okay, moving on to the next one. It's a tree. Well, it's wood. It didn't grow out of the ground, and it's a tree, but it's a different type of tree. This is a mug tree. And another one that's really simple to make. You got a piece of wood on the bottom, piece of wood on the top. We put a 45-degree bevel around those, but you wouldn't have to do that if you didn't want to. This center post is made out of walnut. We found this amongst some scrap when we were gathering pallets one time. We couldn't pass it up. We just had to take it. And the hangers are 3/8 inch wooden dowels. I like making a project out of all wood. Some people would put metal hangers here, and if you like to do that, I say go for it. And this one costs very little to make. That's also important when you're getting started.
Now, mug trees on Etsy, they're running anywhere from $25 to $50. It just depends on the style, how many mugs it holds. Like you said, if you add additional hardware, the type of wood it's made out of, all those factor in to how much they're going for. But this really is one of my favorite projects. I love mugs. We had way too many, so we created this little mug tree. And actually, his mother saw it, and she just had to have one too. Yeah. People love their coffee, they love their tea, they love their hot drinks, and so this is just a really beautiful way to display mugs. A great project for a beginner.
Right, just a disclaimer, we didn't build the mugs.
All right, the next item we're going to talk about is this Tealight candle holder. This particular one holds 4, and you talk about a dream to make. This is made out of 4 pieces of wood. They're just laminated together. Get you some glue, clamp that together, drill 4 holes in it. What size are these holes?
Those are 1.5 inches.
Yeah, these fit a Tealight perfectly. We've actually tested them. We use this on a regular basis in our own home. But this is super simple to make, doesn't take much material at all, and it looks really elegant, really a nice seller.
Now online these can range in price anywhere from $15 to $50. Depends on how big it is, how many candles it will hold, what type of wood it's made out of. This one's made out of walnut and maple. Each board's a 1/2 inch thick, so this is 2 inches tall, and it will hold 4 candles, and you can put feet on the bottom of it too, just like anything else here pretty much. Now the next item on the list is one that we actually do put feet on, and that is our cutting boards.
These are very popular right now. Everybody's doing it, and it's because they are relatively simple to make. You do have to have some basic knowledge about, jointing boards, but these really really are pretty easy to batch out, which is important when you're trying to make money.
Now, cutting boards are one of those things that have a huge price range on them. These will go anywhere from $75 to $200, $300, even $400, some of them. Depends on whether you're making end grain, edge grain, face grain, what types of wood you use, how thick it is. There are all kinds of factors go into the cutting board.
Some ways you can add value to your cutting boards are to put a juice groove in them, some handles, like we said earlier, putting feet on the bottom. There's just a lot of different ways you can personalize these. If you have a way to engrave your boards, that also adds value. And like you said, options are just endless with cutting boards as far as design goes. So this is really a great way to get into the woodworking business.
Up next is the good old wooden lantern. This one happens to be made out of roasted poplar. It looks a lot like walnut, but it's not. It's a lot lighter than walnut. This one's about 12 inches tall, 6 inches square, and the posts 3/4 of an inch thick. And I think we finished this with Danish oil. That's our favorite finish. We put Roman ogis around all the flat panels. You don't have to, but it looks a lot better if you do. Makes this look like a really complicated project, but it's actually pretty simple to make.
Now on Etsy, these are running anywhere between $15 and $40 each. It really just depends on the style and the size. This is kind of a larger lantern. Now these look really great just as home decor. We have this on our coffee table with a candle sitting in it, but these can be dressed up in a variety of ways. You can make them out of different wood, give them different finishes. These are really popular for centerpieces at weddings and other events, and it's really a nice project for the beginning woodworker. All right, the next item we're going to talk about is crates. This was actually the first crate that we built, and we use it as storage here in the shop. This is made out of old fence pickets, and we think it's just really beautiful. It's kind of funny that we use it as storage because some people would actually use this in their house as home decor. And there's a variety of different types of crates you can build. You can build ones with lids. And we actually have a lot of experience doing that.
We don't have any of those in the shop right now. We're out of them, the ones with the lids on them. But you can check out the videos and watch how we build them and see them there. Now we partner with a company called Mr. Tibbs Trading Company. They sell their products in our crates, and that is a great thing to do. You can partner with a company, they can sell their item in your crate and buy the crate from you. Works out great.
Now on Etsy, crates, just depending on the style, they're going anywhere from $25 to $50. And although they're a larger item, it really takes minimal material and they're pretty easy to make. So we encourage you to explore that as an option for your woodworking business. All right, the next project we're going to talk about is hiding under the rest of these projects, and that is a stove cover or noodle board.
Now this one's bigger than the rest of the projects, but it's probably the easiest one to make. You just buy some pine board at your home center, you join it together and make a panel, trim it out with the back and the sides, cut some handles here. This is probably the hardest part of the job, is cutting these handles. Stain it white or whatever color you want.
On Etsy, these are going anywhere between $50 and $150. It just depends on the type of wood, the specific design, and if it's got any hardware or not. But for the time it takes to make one of these, you can make some serious profit. All right, now that we've shown you a variety of projects that you can build to get started in your very own woodworking business, let's talk about how you can add some value to your work so you can charge higher prices.
Right, one way to do that is by using higher grade materials. Take this napkin holder for example. This is made out of pine. You can make it out of maple. You can make it out of walnut, cherry, whatever you want to make it out of. That will up the value of it.
Another way you can add value to your pieces is by offering some kind of customization or personalization. This noodle board or stove cover, that's a real popular thing to add like a family name to. If you've got a way to cut some vinyl or do some engraving, that's a way you can really up the value and charge higher prices for your work.
Another way is hardware. I mean, if you have something that already has hardware on it, you can upgrade it to a higher grade hardware or add hardware to something that don't have it, like this. You can add a brass hoop to the top of this, It adds character, and the customer can hang it if they want to. Feet, we talked about feet. We do put feet on our cutting boards. You can put feet on other things as well. And speaking of cutting boards, offer the customer a tub of board butter when they buy their cutting board. Throw it in.
Another way to add value is to sell your items in sets. So Bryan just told you about maybe adding hardware to this lantern. Another popular thing to do with lanterns is to sell them in sets. So for example, you could build one this size and one just a little bit shorter and say a set of 2 lanterns. You can up the price on that. Also, we talked about selling these as decor for weddings or other events. Sell them in sets of 10 or 20 and you can charge more that way. With this Tealight candle holder, this holds 4 candles. You can also cut this in half, sell it as a set of 2. You can do a Tealight candle holder that does 1, that does 2, that does 3, and sell them in sets, and you can charge more that way as well.
Now comes the biggest question that everybody has when they try to start selling things, and that is, where do I sell it? You've got online marketplaces like Etsy, eBay, Facebook, places like that. Now, it's got a low cost of entry, but you're going to have to pay some commission, so you'll have to build that into your price structure. Also, be prepared for a lot of competition.
Another way that you can sell online is to start your own website. Now, this does involve higher cost because you have to pay for your site to be hosted and a domain. You have to have a little bit of technical knowledge too. Not much more than posting your items on one of the online marketplaces, but you do have to have a general knowledge of how to put a website together. We happen to use Wix. It's very easy to use and customize and design your own website. There'll be less commission involved, but a higher startup cost because you are having to pay, like I said, for the site to be hosted and for that domain, so there's an annual fee. Another thing to look at when you're selling on your own website is how to drive traffic to your website. With those online marketplaces like Etsy, Facebook, eBay, they're doing some marketing for you because people know those names and they go there to shop. So when you have your own website, you have to figure out, how am I going to drive traffic to my website so that people will know about my product?
Now, another way is vendor malls. That's where you pay a fee to rent a space in a traditional storefront. There could also be some commissions involved there too, depending on how they do their business. And you also have to make regular trips to check on your inventory, replenish the stock as it runs out, and so forth.
And the last place we're going to talk about selling your woodworking projects is at craft fairs or local festivals. So this really gives you a good opportunity to show off that physical product and meet your potential customers. Really show off your brand, market, so to speak. And a great way to find events near you is to check out your state or local tourism website, or maybe your Chamber of Commerce, to get some ideas of where those events might be happening. You'll pay for a booth space, either for a day or a few days, and make sure you have enough inventory to take with you so that you can sell those items on site. We hope we've inspired you to turn your hobby into your very own woodworking business. If you want to see how we've made any of these items, check the description box below. We'll have links to all of those videos. And if you like this style of video about woodworking business, be sure to like, subscribe, and ring the bell.
And if you like any of these items and you don't want to build it, we do sell some of them on our website. Check us out at woodsongsbyrussell.com.
Thanks again for joining us today. Happy woodworking!